There, I'm Missy K, also known as the Book Fix, and first things first, I got 0 comments on YouTube about why I should keep reading this book. One of my friends on Facebook did try, but I'm sorry, Emily, it just wasn't doing it for me, and goodbye, Name of the Wind. I was going to throw it, but then I remembered that this is still store property and we can totally still sell it to someone for $4.50. So if you really want a copy of this, you can come to my store, $4.50. The Gray Gentleman, also known as Momo. In the US it was released as Momo, in Britain as The Gray Gentleman. It's actually, it was originally, it's really pretty, so I want to show you both sides. It was originally a German book, and it's by Michael Ende. If you're saying to yourself, I remember that name, but I don't know where from, it's because he wrote The Never-Ending Story. The Gray Gentleman is actually an earlier book of his, and it was, I believe, the first book of his that was ever translated into English. And I actually think that I have a first British edition here in my hands. I didn't realize that until I was really, I was cataloging all of my books because I'm a nerd like that. Yay, working at a bookstore has its benefits. So, I got this book, and it's a cute little story about this girl who is homeless, basically. She just appears out of nowhere, doesn't have any parents, she's homeless, but she's actually kind of happy that way. She does have a bunch of friends who live in like the village around her, and they are, they help take care of her. But she doesn't live with any of them. She lives in like a cave that they fix up for her. And her big thing, the reason why people are friends with her, the reason why people like to hang around her, is she's a really good listener. She just listens, and suddenly things don't seem so bad. Suddenly they come up with the answer to the problem that they have been searching for. I can totally relate to this because I am an auditory learner. At least primarily an auditory learner, which is kind of weird for someone who loves to read as much as I do, but I don't know, it's just true. So when I am thinking through a problem, I need to bounce it off someone, or I just at least say it out loud, but it's nicer to bounce it off of someone. I used to have my mom listen to me in high school when I was having trouble with my math homework. So there are these gray gentlemen, and they are threatening their way of life in this village by convincing them that they don't have time for anything, especially not time for just enjoying life or just sitting around and talking about things. And so the story develops from there. I don't want to spoil it too much, but it's a very charming, sweet little story. You know, it's definitely old-fashioned in a lot of ways. I mean, it was written in 1973, so it's kind of old-fashioned in that way. Like, it still feels like an older young adult book, but it's very sweet, and I enjoyed it quite a bit.